Hello and welcome back to another episode of You Want to Do What. Today we've got Jessie Edwards on. She's a senior recruiter. Hi, Jessie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Should we jump straight in? Do you want to tell everyone a bit about what you do?
Yeah, of course. So hi everyone. My name is Jessie. I am a senior recruitment consultant, working for a company called KM4 Group. So within the group, we have two brands at the moment. So we have a HR team that specialise in HR recruitment. And then we have a talent team that specialise in basically anything in the office. So sales, marketing, finance and tech. And I predominantly focus more on like talent acquisition, sales and marketing at the moment. So that's what I do.
Awesome. So we love having recruiters on because you're just an absolute font of knowledge with people trying to apply to different industries. So we're going to talk a bit about your own career, how you got into recruitment, and we're going to talk about what you look for when sort of helping to search for sales people and as well as marketing people as well. But let's start off with why you got into recruitment.
God, what a great question. Why? Do you know what? I don't even know, if I'm honest with you. So I kind of fell into recruitment, and I don't know if when you guys speak to recruiters, like that usually is always the way. Like, I never went through school and A levels thinking, oh, I want to be a recruitment consultant. I just fell into the industry, and I'm really glad that I did, to be honest with you. I didn't go to university or anything like that. So I did my A levels. I did an apprenticeship. I went and did a marketing qualification with the local council. I was there for a good few years, and I used to do quite a lot of speaking about obviously like the apprenticeship program and things like that, and trying to encourage people to get on the apprenticeship hype, as it were. And then I got approached by a local recruiter, and they just said, "Oh, have you ever thought about recruitment? Did you want to come to this open day?" And if I'm honest with you, I'd never really thought about recruitment. I a bit of a cutthroat industry, if I'm honest with you, and I can say that because I'm in it. And I just had a really bad, I guess, like image of what it was. But
it's
anyway,
got a really bad rep, hasn't it? Well, from people outside of it, you look in and you think, wow, that, like you say, very cutthroat. Not always, I don't know, a perception of maybe not being so honest. I'm not sure where that comes from.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like, recruiters and estate agents unfortunately get branded with the same sort of reputation. And let's be honest with you, we've all heard horror stories. But I really think it depends on you as the individual and like the agency, where you are working. I think it really depends, because it's definitely not like that. But I was just really intrigued at the time, and I was like, what is this recruitment like? Like I had family members and stuff that were in it. So I went along and I really got on with the people. There was a lot of career progression spoken about, and, basically it's talking to people and trying to help them find a job, and you get financially rewarded for it. So at the time I was like, what is there to lose? I'll just give it a go. So basically, I was with my first agency for nearly 3 years. Second one for 1.5 years, and I've been here now for getting on 1.5 years. So I've been in recruitment for probably coming up to like 7 years, and I genuinely don't know what else I do now. Like, I absolutely love it. So I'm kind of glad I just fell into it.
For those other recruitment roles before where you are now, was it tailored to a specific industry that you were recruiting for?
So I started off just doing like commercial recruitment, so a lot of admin, marketing, sales, but like lower level. And then I actually went internal for 1 year, which is a really weird move to make. But it was for a recruitment agency. So essentially it was like rec to rec. And then I decided to go back to agency, which again is a really weird move. Usually when people go internal, they tend to stay internal and go in-house to bigger like organizations or businesses. But I really miss like the variety of clients. So I wanted to go back to agency. So I now specialize more in sales, marketing, and like talent acquisition. So again, like the kind of internal recruitment piece. And that's kind of what I specialize in now. That's my niche.
I think, when we talk to recruiters, we always ask this question as to what is your average day? What are you doing day to day? And we always get a different answer. I think it's fair to say there probably isn't an average day, right?
There is no such thing as an average day in recruitment. I mean, every day is so different. So different.
And what are some of the things you're actually getting up to then during your day?
I mean, it really varies. I mean, a standard typical day, you take a job from a client, that was usually done face to face, but because of the situation that we're in, it's usually done via Zoom now, although people are getting more and more comfortable meeting face to face, which is great. But yeah, meeting with clients, taking vacancies, writing job adverts, then advertising them online. Social media is a massive part of my role. And I'm a massive advocate for it as well. You know, LinkedIn is a great help when it comes to recruitment. So on there quite a lot on the platform. And then talking to candidates, you know, applicants come through, we ring them, we talk through their situation, see if we can help them. And then we're also on LinkedIn, like headhunting, which is a massive thing that we do actually. So it really varies. You know, today I was at a networking event, which is lovely because we're a member of the Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, it's different. You know, I think recruitment has changed so much. In the, you know, even when I started out like 7 years ago, whatever, like it's changed so much. I think now it's a lot about brand awareness, personal branding, getting people to come to you, and networking as well as actually filling the vacancies.
So if you were being honest, what would you say, you know, people really need personality wise to succeed in recruitment? Because I mean, I put it out there. I think if you're probably introverted, this isn't the industry for you, right?
Yeah, I would agree. I think you need to be quite an outgoing person. You need to be very resilient. You know, recruitment, you are dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. You know, they can let you down. So you have to be quite resilient and, you know, not take things to heart. You have to be quite entrepreneurial, I would say. You know, the recruitment market has changed so much in the past year. It's very, very reactive. So like when the pandemic hit, no one wanted to recruit, you know, redundancies were being made, and it was a really scary and quiet time for the industry. And now it's booming, like everyone wants to recruit. So it's you just have to be quite an outgoing, resilient, and also like a patient, entrepreneurial person, I would say.
And for you, you said about you do a lot of headhunting. What is it you're looking for? What obviously headhunting has always been about, but today's day and age, particularly with the likes of LinkedIn and other social media, has it changed? And what is it you're looking for there?
I would say it has changed. So a lot of direct applicants I get in for a vacancy, like 90% of them, you know, are not right for whatever reason. A lot of the people that I've placed in the past year haven't actually actively been looking. So it's all about just understanding what your client wants, you know, where are these people, and then going out and actually sourcing them rather than just waiting for them to come to you. So for me, headhunting, I mean, I use LinkedIn Recruiter quite a lot. I feel like a lot of recruiters probably use that license. And you can do like different searches, Boolean searches, and you can just draw up people that you want to target. So I think for me, it's about approaching people that actually aren't probably necessarily on the market, but like presenting them with an opportunity. And I think that's where recruitment's probably changed. It's not so just relying on people to apply for a job, but you actually have to go out there and find where are these people, because they're out there. It just takes a lot more time than it probably would have years ago.
LinkedIn's obviously such a powerful tool that can be used these days. And you're, like you said, you're on it constantly almost. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see that people do with their LinkedIn profiles?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a great question. I mean, I think your LinkedIn profile, so I'm big on personal branding. I've done like a few courses and stuff on it, and I really like marketing. And I think for me, people buy obviously from people, the old, you know, cringy saying. I think people's LinkedIn profiles, and they don't have a picture, for example, they don't have a banner, or it's just very, very basic. I think that's probably a big mistake, because it's such an opportunity to like present yourself online. Some people see it as like an online CV, so to speak. You know, a lot of our clients now are like, oh, you know, can we potentially look at their LinkedIn profile? The candidate's happy with it. So yeah, I would say the biggest mistake that I've seen is that people just don't utilize it enough, and make it their own.
Before we jumped on, we had a quick chat about you'd listened to one of our personal branding episodes with Sam from Kurogo. And we've recently sort of been talking to quite a few people in the personal branding space, because it's really starting to explode. Now, for anyone looking and thinking about actually going into the workforce or looking to make a career change, how valuable is a personal brand when you're doing your search? I suppose if somebody's got a personal brand, you're straight on there, you know who they are already, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just really helps, especially in this day and age where, you know, a lot of communication now is done like virtually. You know, a lot of people that we place, for example, don't even meet their team until they've been in post for like months to come because of the current situation. So I think if you can express yourself online and build a personal brand and people feel like you're approachable and you're an expert in your area, it's just so beneficial. Like when I am headhunting, you know, if someone's active on LinkedIn and they've got an interest about what it is that they're doing, they automatically are going to stand out a lot more than, you know, someone that doesn't really do that. So I think it's crucial. I think it's really important, and I think it will only get more important as time goes on, if that makes sense. You know, personal brand's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
certainly.
would definitely recommend.
What would you say are some personality traits that you've seen yourself and maybe some of your colleagues that you think are really crucial for being a recruiter?
I think you need to have a sense of humour for sure. You need to be able to like laugh things off and just be quite resilient. I remember when I first started out in recruitment, you know, if someone didn't turn up to an interview, I'd take it really personally and be like, why didn't they let me know? Blah, blah. Unfortunately, that does happen in the role. So I think you just need to be able just to not take things personally, crack on, have a sense of humor, keep going, and just kind of see the bigger picture. And genuinely, like, I think you just need to really enjoy what you do. Like with any job, right? You need to enjoy what you do, and recruitment isn't for everyone. So if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to like it. And I'm really thankful. I genuinely love what I do, and you know the people that I work with. So I think that really, really helps.
Obviously, you said you're specializing more in finding people for sales and marketing roles. But do you think now that you've got the skills to actually find people for a specific role, do you think you'd be able to actually move into other industries such as like construction, engineering, IT, quite easily with the skills you have?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, I think if you're a recruiter, you kind of, the basics are there, you know how to recruit. I think it's very important that you're passionate about the area that you recruit in. So for example, I probably could go and recruit for construction or engineering, but personally, like I don't have a clue about those areas and I don't know if I would necessarily enjoy it. Whereas with the marketing side of things or the talent acquisition, you know, I personally really enjoy that and have an interest in that. So I think it's those conversations I'm having with candidates and clients flow a lot more naturally because I'm interested in the topic. Whereas if it was construction, I mean, I don't know if anyone would want to work with me if I was a construction recruiter because I don't have a clue. But yeah, I mean, I think anyone can move industry. I think it's just really important that you kind of find your niche and then you go with that.
So for those listening that know that you recruit for marketing, what are some of the things that you really look for or make a candidate stand out when they're, you know, looking for a marketing position, whether that be them actually showcasing an example maybe of their work or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, a CV is really important in a marketing role. If you're going for a creative role that needs to stand out, it can't just be on your standard Word document. It needs to be a bit jazzy. I think that always helps. Again, a really strong online presence. If you're a person that's going into a department and you're going to help the business, you know, market what they do, you kind of need to be able to market yourself and what you do. So I think that's really important. And I think, yeah, definitely a portfolio of work is crucial. You know, when I'm recruiting for marketing roles, a lot of clients say, great, you know, can you send me the candidate's portfolio as well? So I think definitely having that prepared would help. And actually going into the interview with some ideas, you know, if you know that the company want to rebrand or they want to redo their website, actually going in there with like, look, I've looked at your website, I've looked at your logo, this is potentially something you could do. I think that really makes candidates stand out in this market.
Now, we always ask this question about university versus going straight into work. And in the marketing world, are you seeing companies actually require people go to university, or are they quite happy to get candidates in that don't have a degree and just have experience and a portfolio to showcase their work?
Absolutely. I think it's a mix. And if I'm honest with you, I think it really depends on the client. I'm seeing a lot of people that, you know, wouldn't it be great if they had a degree? But actually, if they've got the work experience and, you know, they're kind of moving with the times and they're very personable, a lot of the times it's all to do with, you know, cultural fit and what they can bring. So actually, as much as a degree is great, and it is important, don't get me wrong, a lot of clients are like, look, we just want to have that experience. So actually I would personally say probably work experience over maybe like a qualification. But nowadays, you can get qualifications on the job, so we don't really come up against that a lot, if I'm honest.
And then to go into you recruiting for sales roles, what are some things that you look for in somebody to push them forward into an interview?
I just think to be in sales, and obviously, recruitment is, I guess, technically sales, you do have to be a certain type of person. So someone who, again, is outgoing, can talk to people, confidently know their market and their figures, very important thing. If you're a salesperson and you have targets to hit, going into that interview, you need to know like what you've built, what you've done against, Q1 to Q4, whatever. Like, you need to know your targets, because that'll definitely be something that is asked. So someone who is very confident, someone who's quite charismatic. I would say that really. With sales, it kind of depends, and it's different levels, but I would say you just need to kind of be yourself and know your figures and be quite confident with that.
Is there anything they can put on their CV to help them stand out, or is it literally just a case of it's cold hard numbers?
I wouldn't say it's cold hard numbers, but I think to get someone an interview initially for a sales role, if you're talking like a BDM role, for example, like, you're going to have figures on there to get the client to go, yeah, do you know what, we want to see this person. And I think it's very down to then like the personable skills. I wouldn't necessarily say it's cold hard figures, but I would say definitely like you kind of need them on there if you're going to go for like a sales role, for sure.
Sure. And then going back to you recruiting in the or you being a recruiter, what is the biggest positive for you working in the industry?
Biggest positive for me? Oh, that's such a good question. I like, personally, I would say it's the relationships that I can build with people. So a lot with the kind of recruitment that I do is more like executive search, so the kind of like mid to senior level. And a lot of candidates, for example, become clients, vice versa. So for me, a positive is like, if you can build a really good relationship with someone, you're always going to have kind of like a pipeline, and that's really good. And also being in the recruitment market as well, it is quite reactive, so you can kind of see trends and stuff before they happen. That's what I would say.
And on the flip side of that, what would be some less favorable aspects of this industry?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the reputation for one. Like, I feel very passionately that not all recruiters, are the same, and we all get a bad reputation. And I feel really passionately about, trying to change that. Because it's a great industry to get into. For example, I never got taught about recruitment at school, but the progression, the career progression, the rewards and everything with it is great. So I feel quite passionately about that. And I would say that's definitely a negative, that obviously it's got quite a bad reputation. Even though I think it's improved, I think it can always, improve more. I would say it is, like I said, it's very reactive. So for example, if pandemic hits, recruitment is, the first thing within businesses to kind of pause or stop. And that's just something to be mindful of. It can be quite inconsistent sometimes and very reactive. But again, that just goes back to, individuals as recruiters, like being quite strong-willed and resilient and just keep going.
Obviously, with the way technology is going, more and more stuff is going online, and it's sort of phasing out people. But recruiting is kind of an odd one, because as that technology's come in, I'd say recruiters have actually increased as well for what they're doing. Do you think that's mainly because you can only get so much from a CV, and a computer can't quite get that salesperson or that really good marketer through just looking at a CV? Where do you think recruiting will actually be in a few years?
Absolutely. I think, a CV serves its purpose. Same as a LinkedIn profile, for example, it serves a purpose, right? But nothing quite beats meeting someone in person, or even over Zoom now, and actually having a conversation with them and getting to know what they're like. I think people really, as well, majority of people do really prefer like the personal touch. So I don't know if, recruitment will ever die out as such. And I think this past, couple of years, it's all merged into one, if I'm honest. Like, whether being shut away and can't communicate with people, it's actually really nice to have a conversation with them and, you know, meet for a coffee. And like a lot of people in this industry miss that. So I would like to think in the future that would never go away, but I definitely think that technology will kind of take over, but it will help assist us recruiters going forward. So, you know, making headhunting easier, contacting candidates, we can do video interviews and send it along with their CV. You know, I think technology will only help the industry. I mean, it's something to be mindful of, but I would really like to think that the personal element wouldn't just disappear.
And would you still go into this industry knowing everything you know now?
Yeah, I would actually. I would.
It sounds like you're really passionate about it and you really enjoy what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've, you know, been in the industry now for a while. I definitely see my career progressing. You know, it's allowed me to do things in my personal life as well, you know, obviously working hard and, you know, getting those rewards. So, I mean, I would definitely, yeah. I mean, I'd recommend a career in recruitment to anyone, if I'm honest. I think it's really good.
Well, Jessie, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing all about your career and thank you for all your advice. So thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Jessie. Where can people find you, find what you're working on, what you're doing? Just reach out if they maybe want to.
Absolutely, yeah. So definitely LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, Jessie Edwards, and yeah, obviously on our website and everything. And connect with me there. And then obviously, yeah, happy to have conversations with anyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessie.
No worries. Thank you.